Cane Corsos. I am so excited. We've got a lovely friend of mine. His name is Andrew Valladares, and he is the owner of. He actually started a new kennel. We're going to talk all about that. And this is Alpha Genetic Kennels out in Centennial, Colorado. His beautiful babies are Cooper and Raja. So without further ado, and he's got another baby that is not a Cane Corso, but I can see she in the corner. She. Okay. So let's talk about your family. Let's talk about there's pretty girl Raja. She's pretty new to your family, yes?
She is about a month new to our family. We got her out in she's from Brazil, and we got her about a month ago.
Awesome. And how old is she?
She is 4 months. She's about to be 5 months actually this weekend.
It's crazy. It's crazy how fast they grow.
Yep.
So crazy. Our second litter was born May 18th. And I already have puppies reporting back that are almost 60 pounds, that are like 57, 58, so it's just crazy how fast it goes. So tell me about Cooper.
So Cooper is a year and 2 months old. We got him out of Southern California. He's a blue brindle, and he is ICCF registered.
Very nice. And Raja is also blue, but she's not showing brindle.
No, she is solid blue with a little white chest on her.
Okay.
Her breeder is Cane Blue. They're out of Brazil. Her great grandfather is Hulk Hogan, Del Imperio Maya. I believe he was an international world champion.
Very nice.
And she's
very cool.
She is a handful compared to Cooper. For sure. I felt like Cooper was really easy to train, and compared to Raja's just I guess it's a whole different character.
Does she have like more energy? Is she more stubborn?
She's a lot more stubborn. When we got Cooper, he learned how to sit and shake within like 7 minutes, 7 minutes. He learned it really quick. He learned everything really fast, and we were able to take him everywhere with us. Well, we did take him everywhere with us. We took him to the breweries. There's a lot of breweries out here in Colorado. So breweries and Colorado in general, they love their dogs out here.
Yes,
compared to so I'm originally from California, and people don't take their dogs to anywhere in general. So when we decided to buy our dog, everybody was they welcomed us, and that was awesome. So we take our dogs everywhere with us, and we started Cooper off at the brewery, and
very nice.
A little bit of Home Depot, and the dog park, Cherry Creek Dog Park. Also.
How old was Cooper when you got him?
He was 9 weeks old.
Okay, so you've got both since they were babies.
Yes, Raja we got at 3 months. 3 months.
Okay. 3 months or so, because you've had her for about a month or so.
About 3.5 months.
Okay.
Yeah. And I feel that maybe that's a reason why she's kind of more stubborn, because
you didn't get her during the earlier, the first 8, 10, 12 weeks that makes sense. That definitely makes sense, especially because, as much as, I'm a breeder, but as much as we try to socialize and all that good stuff with the babies, there's nothing like one-on-one once they are home in their forever home with their family, with their new forever family. So I could see that. I could definitely see that. So let's talk about food. I know on Instagram, I've seen on your stories, you guys do a little bit of raw, a little bit of kibble. I'd love to hear what works for you guys and why.
So we started off with the Victor Pro, the purple bag, and it worked fine, but the girlfriend wanted to switch it up a little bit. So she ended up what was it? What was the second Nutrisource. We used Nutrisource right after that.
Okay.
Didn't like it, and now we are on to the wellness.
Oh,
And
okay.
wellness is doing okay, but I feel that we're having issues with kibble because of the raw food. Because the dogs would rather skip kibble or
Mm-hmm.
eat kibble a little bit and then wait for raw.
Mm-hmm.
So what the girlfriend started doing was she started making her own broth, chicken broth,
Okay.
and
Yes.
she'll put the chicken broth in on the kibble,
Uh-huh.
and they love it. So
Very good. Very awesome. So you guys don't like, for example, my packet. I know a lot of people shake their heads at me. We free feed kibble to all our guys. Do you guys just serve at certain meal times, or do you free feed?
so they so with the kibble, it's early in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
7 8 o'clock, and it's either they'll eat it all or they'll leave it. They'll leave it there, and then we'll just leave it there for them to pick at it. And
Oh,
then
okay.
so, but it's usually 2 scoops. Usually 2 scoops of kibble.
Yeah.
Um, Cooper's just not a fan of the kibble though, so we're trying. And we bounced around a couple different kibble. We were thinking it was the kibble, and after a while, I was like, no, it's just the food. They're waiting for the
Hmm. Yeah.
food
Yeah,
and
there's
water.
it's crazy how smart they are. And you're absolutely right. They do wait for the good stuff for sure. So yeah, that totally makes sense. All righty. How is Ra? You know, we've talked a little bit about temperament. Raja's temperament is a little bit more stubborn. She's got a little bit more energy than Cooper. With Cooper, you said right off the bat you started, a lot of socialization. So, what do you recommend? What are you doing right now to deal with Raja and some of the issues that you've had?
So with both dogs, we have we hire professional trainers. Um, Doing the research on the Cane Corso, it was a lot of these dogs are aggressive, or if you don't know how to train these dogs, you're going to have issues with these dogs. And I have a lot of family back home. Everybody's back home, so me knowing just in general people are going to come and visit me, I wanted to be well prepared in having my dog being able to socialize with
Hmm.
anybody that walks up to our house. So we paid for training. We go to a place called Sit Means Sit, and the one trainer is really we love him. So
Hmm.
he did a really good job with Cooper. On top of us taking Cooper everywhere with us. But we made sure that we hired a professional trainer because I
Hmm.
do have family coming over, and what
Hmm.
I was reading was if these dogs aren't properly trained, they're going to be a handful when people come to your house, or you're going
Hmm.
to put the dog in
Hmm.
another room.
Hmm.
Well, that's not what I wanted, so
Right.
we pushed it really hard for Cooper to be trained. Raja, on the other hand, getting her while she's a little bit over 3 months old, she she's aggressive towards other dogs. A little bit now, but a little less. When we barely got her, I felt like it was my fault. It was the first weekend we had her. I like to say it was the first 2 days that we had her. We took her out to a brewery, and a couple friends came over, and they had their dogs with them, and the alpha dog kind of growled at her, and after he growled
Hmm.
at her, she was ready to go, ready to fight, and we had
Hmm.
to calm her down, and that was the first day. So I felt like it was my fault because it was new surroundings. This dog is from Brazil.
Hmm.
This dog, I believe, was raised on a farm, so there's no TV, there's no nothing out there. So
Right.
this is just my opinion. This is
Right.
what I'm thinking when we got her, because when we turned on our TV for the first time, she was scared. She was hiding. She, like just the
Hmm.
sounds, the knock on the door, the little squeaky ball sound.
Hmm.
She was
Hmm.
terrified. So that was that was one obstacle that we had to overcome, and we're doing pretty good. Uh,
Good.
with the other dogs, there's not that many dogs out here because we're in the COVID era right now. So
Hmm.
people
That's
aren't
true.
bringing people aren't bringing their dogs out, and So what we do with that is the trainer has a dog, and we usually put it on a place board. And a place board is like a little hammock for
Mm-hmm.
for those that don't know what a place board is. And we basically keep her on the place, use eye contact, and he'll have his dog pass by her. And
Okay.
whenever she takes her eyes off of us, we'll have to bring her back and be like, Raja,
Yeah.
eyes. And
Yeah.
that's what we're working with. And it's always
That's
good to have
smart.
eye contact, because if
Yes.
people notice with their dogs that aren't really trained or whatever, if you're walking your dog and there's another dog passing by, your dog's going to turn that head and maybe
Mm-hmm.
stop and break its neck looking. So what we use the eye contact is to get our dog's attention. So when we use
Mm-hmm.
eye look, and they're showing us that eye contact. I
Yes.
didn't think about that until the trainer was like, "Hey, you guys got to do this. Practice this." And
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't me that did it. It was a girlfriend. My girlfriend puts in a lot more time than I do training the dog.
Mm-hmm.
She feeds the dogs. She does everything for the dogs. So
Well, and that's
other
very important. I've always been a huge advocate of everybody in the family has to spend time with the dogs. I have a 17-year-old and an 11-year-old, and my 11-year-old can handle Zeus, who is
Mhm.
150-ish pounds, give or take, just as well as he can handle any one of the pups. He has no fear. He grabs them and he's like, "No, I said come this way." So that's excellent. That's excellent that you guys have your entire family involved. That's awesome. And you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It is very important when you are out in any setting that although these guys are guardian breeds, so they always want to, guard you first, they need to know that you as the human have the ultimate say so. So if you say leave it, that means leave it. And so the whole eyes on you contact all the time, that's awesome. That's exactly what a good trainer will teach you. And a lot of times, a lot of the trainers that I follow on social media and YouTube and such, the very first thing they say is we're training the humans, not the dog itself. And I completely agree because we don't understand what their language is. We love them and we want to provide for them and do well by them. But that doesn't mean that you understand what their actual needs are. Nurturing is very important in that aspect.
Um, just to eat, just the little things like that. Like, some people don't know how to guide their dog. Like just in general with a leash.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we learned
Right.
from the trainer, and then
Does
just, oh.
he help you guys? Does he use like the slip collars or the choke collars or the Hermspringer collars or the prong collars? Does he, use different tools depending on what the pup is
So
needing?
so what we do, sit means sit. I guess their style is using the e-collar. So they
Okay.
use the
Yeah.
e-collar. We use the e-collar. I use the e-collar on Cooper, um, and I love it. I've never used anything like that. It was always just like the basic sit, come, stay,
Right.
and using that e-collar, it's a real
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
I'm not sponsored by
Um.
e-collar either. I'm just letting you guys know, if you guys need, especially with these kind of dogs, I
Hmm.
feel, because even though they're trained, I mean, my dog, speaking for myself, even though
Right.
they're trained, there's times where I'm like, "Hey, Cooper, come," and he's gonna be like, Nah."
I'm gonna think about it.
Yeah, but
Or right now? You mean right now, or can I come
right,
later?
right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so using that collar, I could put the collar on him now, and um, I won't even have to use the button or anything. He just
Right.
knows that it means business, and
Yeah. Yeah.
totally awesome. His whole demeanor changes once he has that collar on.
Right. Right. Well, because he's taken. Okay. So just a disclaimer: it's the collar with the training. You can't just put the collar on there and expect him to know what to do
Exactly.
when you activate it. And even with kennel training, I don't kennel train my puppies, but those that do, I am a huge advocate for. You can't just put him in a cage and expect him to feel comfortable in there. It doesn't work that way. You never use it for punishment, etc. So same E-collar is never used for punishment. It's just used for corrections. And corrections are used through e-collar, the prong collar, the Herm Springer collar. I mean, there's different ways, but ultimately what it means is whatever you say goes no matter what, always, And so if the e-collar is the way to get that from Cooper, then excellent. As long as it's done with training, alongside with training, then I definitely advocate for that. That's awesome. Cool.
And using those e-collars, you have to your dog has to know the basics. The comes it's just like you were saying, like they have to know the basics. You can't just slap the collar on and be like, come over here, or sit. Right. For people that want to learn how to make their dogs come, what we were doing, we were getting a long leash, and you would come, and then we would hit the collar really on low, and she's pretty good at coming now.
Let's talk about health issues. The kind of Corso is definitely known to have several different kind of health issues. Typically, most breeders will weed them out either through genetics. Like, for example, one of my girls, and we're actually working on it, she was born with an umbilical hernia, which means that her tummy just didn't close all the way. I am working on possibly getting a couple second and third opinions to see if she is going to be, if it's repairable. Is it in her genetics? Can she pass it down? If so, then we will not breed her, And so as a responsible breeder, that's what you want to see. It is our hope that that is not the case, and that it was just, a physical hernia versus a genetic hernia. So with that said, have you had any health issues with Raja or Cooper?
That cherry eye. We've been hit twice with cherry eye with Cooper. The first time, it cost us about $800 to get it treated, to get it fixed. We actually had it tucked, and I went on a couple pages, and everybody was just like, remove it, and then I would search more, and I'm like, man, I really don't want my dog's eye to dry out, and I would have to give my dog drops forever. But everybody was just like, no, just get it removed. So we decided to get it tucked, and it was going well for a few months, and then his eye actually started to cave in, started to go crooked. So he has a little crooked eye right now. And took him back to the doctors, and the same doctor that we paid $800 for, they charged us another $100 to. They said it was a stitch, so they sedated him a little bit, and they realized it wasn't a stitch. They realized it was a cherry eye coming back. So we had to schedule up an appointment to get surgery done with him. During all that going down, Raja, when we picked up Raja, she already had a cherry eye when we bought her. So we took her to the vet, and a different vet, and that vet charged us $300. And which was pretty cool with this vet. They were like, all right, so we're going to charge you $300. And if we tuck it and it comes back, we'll fix it for free. And we'll tuck it again. And if it comes back a third time, then we will remove it for free. And then that'll be it. So,
wow.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So I ended up canceling Cooper's appointment to get the surgery from the other doctor to go to this doctor. So we're waiting for that.
Just like humans. That's why I want to get a couple separate opinions about Fifi. Is just like humans. Sometimes you need, another doctor's, to look at things, and they might come up with something a little bit different than what you knew or what have you. I'm really surprised. I've been very fortunate and blessed that we haven't had to deal with the cherry eye, although I know it's something very, very common, not only with Cane Corsos, but several other different breeds. So I'm really surprised at the price difference, because, for example, one thing that doesn't vary much in price is like ear cropping. So the ear cropping is about the same price at almost every single doctor you go. It's not like a $500 difference between one or the other. So that's a little surprising. Now, Raja already had her ears done when you got her, yes? And what about Cooper?
Yep.
Okay, you're copy. Now, the cherry eye, like I said, I thankfully haven't had to deal with it, so I'm not sure how that works.
Hmm.
But at any rate, I'm glad that you found somebody that not only is willing to help you with, Raja in the event that something happens. That's what you want to see in any industry. Somebody who backs up, and that's with breeders, that's with everything. Somebody who backs up, their service or their product or their, whatever have you. So that's awesome that you guys found that. So let's talk about future. When I met you, I knew you through Cooper the Cane Corso. And then all of a sudden it became Alpha Genetic Kennels. So that's exciting. Let's talk about that.
All right, so let's talk about that. So when we got Cooper, that was my plan. I I was breeding pit bulls in 2003. I had a really nice male out of Watchdog Kennels. If you guys for the pit bull breeders out there, it was Watchdog Kennels out of Illinois, Chaos Kennels, and I was breeding back then with him, and I just love being able to get two dogs together, or like chase that wrinkly face, or that out, that big chest. And once we got Cooper, I just fell back into it. I was like, oh my God, I'll breed this dog. Of course, I'm older now, and I want to do everything legit, everything professionally. I don't want to be no backyard breeder. I don't want to be categorized as that. We will be getting our dogs tested, hips and elbows. They obviously got cherry eye, so when we do sell our dogs, I'm an honest person. I'm going to let them know that the dogs are prone to have cherry eye. Um, when we do breed, Raja's FCI and AKC registered. So my brain, what I really want to do is chase a couple pedigrees.
Okay.
And get some good pedigree in my in our breeding. And eventually, I don't think we will own a Cooper pup. We will own a different sire puppy, and then that would be my main dog. I love Cooper. Cooper's awesome, but I don't feel like Cooper's what I'm looking for in my program.
Gotcha. So breeding, we're definitely going to breed Raja and Cooper, you said, but you're probably going to be adding more males and females to your program. Yes.
No males. So my plan. This is what my plan is. So my plan is we are going to breed Cooper and Raja together. We are picking up another female in February or March, and her great grandfather is Manello, I believe. He's in Manello out of he's from Europe, from Supreme Kennel. That dog is pretty awesome. So we're picking up that bloodline, and that's through Connie Blue, where I got Raja, because he's picked up a daughter from that gentleman, and we'll be bringing her. We'll breed her with Cooper, and once we're ready to pick up another male, then we will pick up a male probably from the second females litter.
Okay. Very cool.
And
Very cool.
That male would be an AKC dog. So like I said before, Cooper's only ICCF, and I feel that I needed to have AKC paperwork. So
but you can apply for AKC. If he has ICCF, you can apply. You can do an individual application for him.
I heard that they aren't accepting Corsos anymore.
No.
I'm not too sure.
Have you contacted them?
I haven't.
Okay. I would reach out to them, definitely, because I did a little bit of digging around February this year, because I was going to add another female to our pack. And in my digging around, I contacted the what have you, AKC.
Yeah.
It was an hour and 45-minute wait on the phone. But they emailed me an application. So as of February of this year, they were taking Corsos. If that changed, I'm not certain, but I would definitely, encourage you to check that out for sure.
I will. And for
For
those
sure.
of you guys that want to buy Corsos and are looking for breeders, do your research before you guys jump on any breeder.
Yes.
I've gotten a lot of DMs, and people are asking me about dogs that they're picking up, and they don't know who the parents are. Like, ask your breeder who the
Mm-hmm.
parents are. Like,
Mm-hmm.
get that information.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't want to buy a
Yes.
dog. Like, get the information. Get a
Yes.
contact with your breeder.
Especially as much as these dogs are.
Yeah,
You're
these dogs are
absolutely right.
expensive.
Yes, 100%. Mm-hmm.
So do your homework.
Yes,
Don't
yes.
just see a little puppy on Facebook and be like, "What's the price?" You're going to spend $3,000, $4,000 on a dog. Make sure it's a dog that you want. Make sure it's the color you want, and ask questions before you give your money to
Mm-hmm.
breeders. Because right now in the Conde
Mm-hmm.
Corso game, people are getting scammed. If you're
Mm-hmm.
on Facebook and you're
Mm-hmm.
on Conde Corso pages, you're for sure seeing that every single day. People getting scammed.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
go go live with them. Go on
Mm-hmm.
what is it, FaceTime. If they're
FaceTime.
FaceTiming you,
Mm-hmm.
then there's something sketchy. If they can't
Mm-hmm.
FaceTime you and they're texting you all day, there's something sneaky about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
Be on
agree,
the
100%.
and have
And you can even get scammed even if you get a contract. You're absolutely right. So even if you get a contract, you can still get scammed. But that would be first and foremost having a contract in place, to avoid a scam. And then I had customers fly in from Boston and Florida with this litter, and I FaceTimed. I had no issue showing them not just the puppies, but where they kept, how they're socialized with the rest of my family, with the rest of their pack. All that stuff is very important before the puppy even leaves. So, like how we were talking about how Raja, she didn't understand what a TV was or anything when she first came to you. I'm naturally loud and flamboyant, so I am always singing and dancing and screaming, and I've got the TV on, and I don't even have carpet to vacuum, but I'll turn the vacuum on so that they know these sounds before they even leave my house. And I'm talking at about 5-ish weeks. Obviously, the first 2 weeks were actually really super quiet. We let them sleep most of the time for the first 2 weeks, and then after that is when we start. Okay, now your eyes are open. Let's show you the world. So that's really important. So I do like that you know in a way you've learned a lot of things, but now you know what to do for your program going forward. What you did and didn't like from the two dogs that you got, essentially. So that's awesome. So how about showing? Have you thought about showing your dogs?
Raja. We've planned on showing Raja, but it's a lot of work having to have your dog
Yeah.
stand still and play with the tail, and
Yeah.
we're gonna eventually show Raja. I just want her to get a little bit bigger, just so I want to see what flaws she has, if she has flaws. All dogs have flaws, so I'm really competitive. So if she's worth me putting her in the show, then I'll do it. But I think she's show quality,
Awesome.
so we'll see.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, and you would probably get a handler. That'd probably be the best way to do it. Is get a handler. That way they would do basically all the training for you. I try to tell people show training and obedience training are totally different. It's not the same thing because a lot of people think, oh, I already put them in, puppy training classes. I'm like, no, 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 totally different. So that's awesome. I mean, it's something to consider, definitely for sure. Okay, well, I just have one more thing for you, and this is a surprise question, and it's got to be off the top of your head. Don't even think about it, just say it and go. Okay? What is the one thing you love most about Raja and Cooper? Go.
I love that when I open my door, when I get home, they are wagging their tails, happy to see me. And I could be on the downest day. I could have a horrible work day. Maybe it's all dogs in general, but my dogs are special. And they're part of my family. I love them. Get
Well,
yourself on
no.
a Corso.
Yes, I gotta tell you, I owned Doberman, I own boxers, I've had Saint Bernards, I've had many, many dogs, large ones, small ones, Shih Tzus, in my lifetime. There has been nothing for me personally like a Cane Corso ever, ever in my life. It's a totally different kind of dynamic relationship and everything, and every single Cane Corso owner that I've talked to that has other dogs has said the same thing. Like, I love my shepherd or I love my blah blah blah, but there's something about the Cane Corso that just doesn't compare to any of the other dogs I've had. So
I
I
agree with you.
definitely
Totally agree with you. These dogs
me
have
too.
your back, right? Don't eat like we
Yeah.
bought the Cane Corso and
Yeah,
just
he does his job.
he does his job. Just, I mean, he's right there minding his own business. But if
Yep.
somebody came to our door, my play would be Cooper. Who is that? And and he's right there, ready to bark.
Yep, yep. I mean, they're always your shadow, Velcro dogs.
Yep.
That's what they call them, the Velcro dog. So thank you so much, Andrew, for your time. Before we leave, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the Dropbox as well. But let's share all your email handles. I know you started a new Facebook group, so let's just go through all your social media stuff real quick.
Instagram, alpha underscore genetic underscore kennels. TikTok, which Cooper's famous on TikTok. He got 10,000 followers.
Nice.
His TikTok name is Cooper's Pooper, and we are, like you said, we have a Facebook group, Cane Corso breeding and litters or something like that. Sorry, we just made it like 2 days.
I will link it. No problem. I will link it. I will have all the information down below as well. So no problem. Well, thank you again so much for your time.
Thanks for having us.
Give a big hug and kiss. Yes, absolutely. Give a big hug and kiss to Raj and Cooper for me and your little one, who she stayed with you the whole time.
Follows me everywhere. This is my ride and die, right? Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, you have a good night. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Raja, she is 4 months old. She's about 55 pounds. And this is our girl. She's got her cherry eyes.
Hi, pretty girl.
Oh, that's a good girl. So, yes.
Well, and I met her once. Yep. I have not met Cooper, but I've met Raja.
We will be back with you guys soon.
Yes. Got 9 females. And so that and when I met her, she only had...
I'm sorry. If you guys didn't hear that, these dogs are prone to farting, like,
loud. Oh, yeah. Yes.
That was him.
I have to say, I swear to you, it's like it's concentrated. Like, let's say they're underneath the kitchen table and one of them farts, I swear to God, it always comes directly to me. Just me. Nobody else smells it but me. I'm like, what in the world, guys? Yes.
And they're loud farts, right? This ain't no silent farts. These are real loud farts. So.
Once I was laying on the couch, I swear I wanted to smack him upside his head. Not only did Zeus fart, but he did that like downward dog stretch fart in my face as I was laying down watching TV. I was like, you jerk. Like, really? Really? Yes, absolutely. These guys are something else when it comes to the gas.